How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again. We're dropping yet another video. Right, guys, a few days ago, if you look down my timeline, right, I did a video about 5 days ago about a depraved paedophile by the name of Sebastian Cosmin Bonta, right? The reason that I covered Sebastian Cosmin Bonta, who was a Romanian paedophile that was living in Burnley, and I think he got 18-month sentence, if my mind serves me correctly, right? The reason that I covered the story, one, I despise nonsense. Two, I was abused. Three, it's localish. And four, what I read on Facebook was that Sebastian Cosmin Bonta had actually emailed this UK database stating, I will be taking legal action and informing the police because you have no right to use my image or my name, and you wasn't in court and you don't know what's been said, right? Now, when it comes to these sorts of legal precedents, there's a lot of journalists out there and stuff. There's a lot of stories out there, and they just write bollocks, right? When it comes to cases like this, right, they have to be bang on the money and quote what's been said in court, right? And the reason that I'm doing this video again, and I'm covering it again, it's a different video. I'm talking differently. The whole chemical makeup's different. I'm going to read the story out again. This is what happened on the video. You've already seen it at the start, guys. This is from Sebastian Cosmin Bonta. It reads, please delete this video. You don't have any right to use my name and my image. Quote there. Now, Sebastian Cosmin Bonta, the reason that I covered the story, like I said, it's a story. It's an actual version of events. There's quotes in there from what was said in court, right? They get the court transcripts, or a journalist would have been there in court. It's not defamation of character. It is not slander, right? Everything that's said within the article is true and correct. You are a convicted paedophile. That is why I covered the story. I'm not making this up. This isn't a version of events that I've made up. This is a true version and account. You are a convicted paedophile. Upon serving your sentence, you were deported back to Romania. You are a danger to children. Now, this man had between 1.8 and 2 million porn images on his device, including child abuse videos, where I believe one of the youngest victims was 2. I'm going to read the story again, guys, so people keep up to date. I'm interested in people stating, what are your thoughts and opinions on Sebastian Cosmin Bonta? What are your thoughts and things on paedophiles? How do you guys think about them? Let me tell you, there's 4 things you don't want to be in prison: a grass, a rapist, a paedophile, or a child killer. All right? 4 things you don't want to be in prison, right? This man, by having the images on his devices, right? These people, 1.8 million. Now, apparently not all of them were child abuse images. It doesn't matter if one of them was child abuse image. That is more than enough. But this guy had countless videos and images of child abuse. Now, like I said, guys, as someone that was abused, when I was abused, it caused untold damage to me, right? I didn't have abuse that this girl, Justice for Ellie, had. There's a hashtag out there, Justice for Ellie, right? Now, these other people that were groomed and raped and abused and all these horrific things, right? They had it a lot worse than me, but abuse is exactly that, abuse. Whether it's happened once, whether it happens 1,000 times, whether there was 1,000 perpetrators or there was one. Abuse is abuse, but like I've said, the damage is untold. Now, a lot of these people that have been abused sexually, physically, psychologically, emotionally, but sexual, right? The damage it does is absolutely untold. It's a life sentence, right? A lot of these people, myself included, I struggle to form emotional attachments. I've been single 4.5 years. My longest relationship was about 2 years, right? I can't hold down, I have trust issues. I have insecurities. It probably contributed to my mental health to some extent. I wasn't a self-harmer. I didn't turn to drugs. I didn't turn to drink. My outburst, my emotion, my outlet was extreme violence and anger. Right? I'm not proud of that. It doesn't make. I'm not trying to be a big hard man. What I'm stating is it was a contributing factor to the anger and the violence and the extreme violence that I was capable of. But the damage it does to people is untold. I've been in prison with a lot of people that have been sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, psychologically abused, right? There's people in care. There's so many people, right, that there's a guy that he's got two initials, right? I won't name him, but he's got two initials, right? Man kid living over the water in Liverpool. Well, he's over the water on the Wirral, right, Birkenhead sides, right? Now, he was abused, right? He'd grown up in care leaver. There's definitely a problem between people that grow up in care and care leavers and sexual abuse, right? People that end up being sexually abused go on to develop mental health, develop drug issues, insecurities, can't form emotional attachments, alcoholism, addiction, mental health, self-harm, suicide attempts, or sadly and tragically suicide. It's a very serious problem, guys, and it's a very hard-hitting and very real thing, right? Now, like I've said, this guy, how ballsy and brass-necked do you have to be to email a Facebook page and say, I will be contacting the police, you're putting my physical being at danger, in danger and everything, right? They're not giving your address away. They're not telling people and inciting people to go out and attack this person. Like I said, according to the article, which I'm about to read, this guy has been sent back to Romania, and rightfully so. He'll probably come back into the country on the back of a lorry. But this guy is a very, very dangerous individual. Now, like I've said, he might not have physically injured children, but we don't know that to be a fact. But we also can't say that it did happen or it didn't happen. But by getting these indecent images of children and downloading them, right, what you're actually doing is hold on, I'm trying to find the link. 1 second. Let me find the story first, guys. I should have done this before I started. Right, we've got it. Right, now, these individuals, guys, by downloading these images, what they're doing, they're fueling the demand for them. If you haven't got demand, there is no supply. Right, look at drugs. There is a demand for drugs, whether it's Class A's to new psychoactive substances to Class B's, Class C's. There is a demand. Where there is a demand, it generates a supply. Because if you've got no demand, there is no supply. If the world came teetotal tomorrow and never drank a drop of alcohol again, all these businesses, lager, beer, cider, fucking spirits, vodka, liqueurs, they'd all go out of business, wouldn't they? Demand, supply, right? So by this nonce, because that's what he is, a nonce, Sebastian Cosmin Bonta, formerly of Burnley, hopefully now back in Romania, by downloading these indecent images of children or child abuse images, because that's what they are, you're fueling the cycle and the demand for them, right? And here in the UK, I've covered many of these stories. They're categorised from Category A to Category C, I believe. Category A is the highest, and then you've got Category C, which is the lowest. But for me, there is no lowest. Child abuse is child abuse. But if you get A is the worst, raping babies and just the most vilest, just depraved. A child is a child, right? And wow, just unbelievable, guys. But this guy he didn't email me, sorry, he's put a comment. If you look back through the video down the line, you'll see depraved paedophile had 1.8 million child abuse images or whatever, or 2 million, right? Sex offender had 2 million pornographic images, including child abuse videos. Now, go down to that video and you will see a comment from this man. Let me know what you think about Sebastian Cosmin Bonta, paedophiles in general, and these sorts of indecent images. I'm going to read the story again. This is a story in the Lancashire Telegraph, guys. It's dated 13th of November, 2019. The reason I haven't put the pictures of him at the beginning, I'm just going to clarify this. Another thing that I need to do before I go into the video, this man contacted YouTube and complained about privacy on the video, saying that I named him and I put his picture on the video. So with this one, I'm going to put his name. I'm not going to put the pictures, but if you click the link in the description, there is a picture to this depraved looking paedophile, right? So that video might be taken down because he's applied for privacy thing. But I said in the video, just in case he goes to YouTube and tries to claim that his privacy has been breached or anything, under general data protection regulations, right? I'm covering this because it's a real version of events. It's a news story, and that's why I'm covering it. The same goes for this. Anyway, guys, let me read the story again. This is in the Lancashire Telegraph. Link in the description below, like I always do. There's a picture of him on the link. Sex offender had 2 million pornographic images, including child abuse images. Video, sorry. Hold on. I've got to answer some bloody silly survey thing. Right, a sex offender caught with nearly 2 million pornographic videos and images created descriptive folders on his computer so other perverts could easily access child abuse material online. Burnley Crown Court heard how intelligent and well-educated Romanian Sebastian Cosmin Bonta had created more than 60 folders with detailed and graphic descriptions of what sordid videos contain, such as 5-year-olds and rape. Prosecuting, Stephen Parker said the child abuse material was made available to access over the internet via a network. The youngest child being abused was estimated to be just 2. While police also found bestiality material on the 34-year-old Bonta's laptop. Mr. Parker said police had gone to a house in Elmwood Street, Burnley, on August the 8th, following intelligence that child pornography was being accessed from there. Inside, officers found 3 foreign nationals, including Bonta, and they has to spoke the best English. When police explained to Bonta they were there, he said, "I have seen pictures of children." Bonta was arrested on suspicion of making and possessing indecent images of children. During police interview, he accepted the computer devices police had attributed to him were his, but denied he was responsible for downloading indecent images of children. On one of the devices, police found 7,002 Category A, the worst and the most serious examples of child abuse, 64 Category B, 62 Category C, and 882 extreme pornographic images. Mr. Parker said there were more than 1.8 million videos and pictures that police hadn't examined, although they accepted some of them could have been legal pornography. Bonta pleaded guilty to 3 offences of making indecent images of children and making extreme pornography. However, Mr. Parker said the defendant may face further charges in the future. Mr. Parker said, at the moment he is indicted for making in terms of not being the filmer of them, but uploading them. This wasn't the only device seized from the defendant. They are in due course going to be examined. If all that is found is further Category A, Category B and Category C images, it is unlikely that there's going to be trouble in the courts again. If there is evidence of distribution, that's going to be a different scenario. There is a significant amount of work to be done, not just in terms of this defendant, but other defendants as well. In relation to this operation that led to the arrest of this defendant, that incorporated over 30 defendants. Paedophile ring, guys, simple as that. Defending Philip Holden said his client's best mitigation was his lack of previous convictions and his guilty plea, but the difficulty he faced was the sheer number of images. Sentencing Bonta to 18 months in prison. Judge Simon Medlin QC said, "You are 34 and you are a wholly intelligent man. You have a university degree and a postgraduate qualification in psychology. You don't take drugs, you barely drink alcohol, you have no psychological or psychotic problems. It is therefore all the more sad, like he's fucking sorry for him, that I have to sentence you for possessing a vast quantity of unlawful pornography." Judge Medlin told Bonta he would be deported on his release from prison. The judge sounds sorry for him, guys. There, very sad that I've got to sentence you. I'm not being funny. If you had learning difficulties and you download these child abuse images, because that's what they are, that is bad enough. When you are, as he says, wholly intelligent, when you've got a psychology degree, when you're an educated individual, for me, that makes it 10 times worse, a million times worse than what you've done. Sebastian Cosmin Bonta is a danger to children. He was getting sexual gratification from these images and videos of children. Yes, there was extreme pornography as well. Extreme pornography is bestiality, rape, necrophilia, things like that, I believe. But like I said, he's a depraved individual, guys, really fucking depraved, right? It sounds like they've only seen about 7,500 of these images. No, I think, so 702, 600 something. And so there's about 2,000 of them that were classed as illegal, but then they've got 1.8 million others to view. But the CPS have said, we're not going to bother the courts again. Like, there's drug dealers going to prison for years, right? Now, drug dealing kills people in a sense, I get that. And the supply and demand, even though it's a completely different kettle of fish. But yeah, you've got people. I was in prison with a man that got 9.5 years for tax evasion. No physical, no thing, tax evasion by not paying tax, smuggling cigarettes into the UK and selling them, right, for sleeves. 25 million cigarettes, tax evasion, £9 million or whatever it was, thereabouts, more than that. I can't remember if it's 25 million cigarettes, but it was 9. He got 9.5 years, right, for tax evasion, right? And then he got a Proceeds of Crime Act order and told you'd be getting another 3 years if you didn't pay X amount, which I can't remember that amount. But this is the thing. How are these people? This guy got 18 months. 18 months, right? And there's people out there. Fuck it. I helped a guy who broke someone's jaw in 2 places. Not a fighter, worked all his life, had buried his best friends, was emotionally charged. A guy tried to start a fight at a wake for a funeral of his best friend who died. This man didn't even know the guy who died, this dickhead that got attacked. Kept trying to pull people's hair, knock drinks out of people's hands, trying to cause a fight. This guy that I spoke to that had just buried his best friend ended up knocking the guy out and broke his jaw in 2 places. He got 6 years, 4 months. This fucking depraved paedophile downloaded and uploaded, right, on the web, and it brought down 30 defendants, guys, paedophile ring, right, and he got 18 months. Just let that sink in for a minute. Physical thing is, child abuse all across the world. All these images could have been here in the UK, could have been America, could have been Cambodia, Vietnam, Asia, the Middle East, wherever, right? And he gets 18 months in prison. And the judge sounded wholly apologetic for sending him to prison. The mind blows. These guys are extremely dangerous, depraved individuals. And like I've said, a paedophile ring comes down over this, right? And rightfully fucking so, right? The facts are, you cannot rehabilitate a sex offender. If you go to prison sexually attracted to men, you will leave sexually attracted to men. If you go to prison sexually attracted to women, you will leave sexually attracted to women. If you go to prison with a sexual interest in children, you will leave with a sexual interest in children. It's as simple as that, right? And the thing is, right, these people should never be released from prison, in my opinion. Now, it really, my mind is blown, right? We know there's paedophile rings in government, the royal family, the courts, the judges, the police, the church. We know this, religion, it goes on, right? But 18 months, he will serve 9. And then he's going to be deported. He could still be in this country because he's out now, or he might have a mobile phone if he's in. He should be in prison, really, because this was from November last year. It's now 2020, so November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. He should be in prison till August, right? And then he should be held, and then he should be kept in prison, sent to an immigration centre, and flown back to Romania, right? But again, the damage is done. When he goes back to Romania, his criminal thing is not going to follow him to Romania unless, obviously, well, Interpol and all that stuff, the police, international police. He should be on the watch list in Romania for the police and paedophiles and everything else. But like I said, by commenting there, he might actually still be in prison. But it might even not be him. But the fact there's been an email sent to this Facebook page, the fact that he's commented on my video, the fact that he's saying that he's got a privacy issue, that I've posted his pictures and spoken about him, right, leads me, it could be just anybody, but I believe it's him. I more than likely believe it's him. But like I said, guys, the damage these people do is everlasting. And these children that have been abused across the world, he might not physically abuse them himself, but we don't know if he hasn't. We don't know if he has. But like I said, by downloading these images, you're fueling the cycle for the demand of them. And it literally, if you think about it, by you wanting to view them images or viewing them images, not that anyone ever would in the right frame of mind, more people are seeking out these children to abuse on the dark web and these depraved sites, right? And it's disgusting, guys, the damage it does. And it's a kick in the teeth, because these victims, they suffer forever. I don't care if it's here, if it's across the world. The damage it does to these children or adults into adulthood is off the scale. And he got 18 months in prison. Unbelievable, guys. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the screenshot at the start. What do you think should happen to him? What are your thoughts on paedophiles? Have you been abused? Are you a mother? Are you a father? What would you do to this sick individual? Gonna leave it there, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Cosmin Bonta, I hope you like this video.